When you're looking at the answers, could it be starting with C? Let's take a look. First phrase, in the xy coordinate plane. Okay, so right away I'm going to draw the xy coordinate plane. Lines L and Q are perpendicular. Okay, so let's just write that down. L is perpendicular to Q. And, not G, but Q. The first thing that you want to know is because they're lines, it follows a y equals mx plus b. Okay? Now, when things are perpendicular, the slopes are negative reciprocals of one another. So for instance, hypothetically speaking, if I know one of the slopes is a half, the other one's going to be negative 2 over 1 or negative 2. Okay? Just as a side note. Okay, so if line L contains a point 0, 0, and 2, 1. Okay, so here's 0, 0, and 2, comma 1. So I've got line L like this. So this is line L. We should probably get everything that we can about line L. Well, we have y equals, the rise is a half, so because it goes up 1 over 2, x plus 0, because the y-intercept is 0. Right away, because this is line L, I know that line Q will have an expression of y equals negative 2x plus b, because we don't know what the y-intercept is of line Q yet, but we do know that the slope's going to be negative reciprocals to one another, okay? And line Q contains a point 2, 1, and 0, comma t. Okay, so we've got 2, 1, which is here, and some 0t. That makes sense. It's somewhere, okay? So who knows? Let's just draw a perpendicular dashed line like this and say, oh, this is 0t. Okay? And it could, very well could be over here. That's the 0t. Who knows? Okay? But you still want to just get a good idea of things, right? They say, well, what is the value of t? Here's the thing. We've been talking about negative reciprocal slopes this entire problem, and you don't want to walk away from it because we know that the slope of line Q slope, the slope equals negative 2. Okay, we know that for sure. And they gave us 2 points so that we could solve for the slope. Well, you probably remember that the slope of any line is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And they gave it to us. So we have t minus 1 over 0 minus 2, which equals t minus 1 over negative 2. So let me just consolidate this. So we got negative 2 equals t minus 1 over negative 2. Negative 2. Send this negative 2 over to the other side. I get 4 equals t minus 1. Send the 1 over. I got t equals 5. Okay? And they want to know the value of t, so we have it. Okay, the answer should be E. Could starting with C work? Absolutely. For instance, again, let's use the answer 5 equals t. Well, if we're dealing with that t value, we're looking at 2 coordinates, 2, 1 and 0, 5. And if we got the slope of that, that's 5 minus 1 over 0 minus 2 equals 4 over negative 2, which equals negative 2. And weren't we talking about the Q slope was supposed to be negative 2? And there you have it. The answer is E, both ways.